Okay, Sinadapi. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday on the Native Wellness Institute's 139 weeks. Can you believe it? We began in March 2020 when everything was like kind of wiped out, and our team of Native Wellness Institute, we got together, woohoo, in March 2020, and we said, we got to do something. And we jumped on Facebook Live. And so it's been 139 weeks. So we really appreciate those of you who want positive, productive wellness. And as you know, NWI, where our mission is to keep the teachings of our ancestors alive. So I just want to say, woohoo! And, I needs to Makoyo Sakoi, my second Blackfoot name. And I just, my English name, my IRS, and geez, I just sent another check to the god dang IRS because I'm sober. When you're sober, you pay your taxes. When you're not sober, you run away and you never pay. Anyway, just kind of, when you're cool with the IRS, no one, when you see the lights behind you and you got a registration, you got a valid license, you got no warrants. People in the car might have warrants, but you ain't got none. Anyway, you see the lights, and you know how like Indians, when we were little, if they saw a cop, they say, "There's a cop," and all the kids in the back would go, "Woo!" We would jump down on the floorboard and hide. We didn't even know why, but it was like a residual residential boarding school. Whenever we saw the authorities, the kids hid. I mean, even now, you can see like when the cop is behind someone and there's Indians in the car in front of him and they're all sitting like this. Like, oh, shh, I hope it passes by. Anyway, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Our team is, some of our team is out sledding, some of our team is out singing up on a mountain, some are just rolled up in their pajamas, binging on Netflix, some are returning presents. But badass auntie is in Browning, Montana, in her mother's bedroom. Of course you can tell it's mom. My mom is like a Stone Warriors fan. Don't tell anybody. She's got Warriors, and for her gifts, she got Warrior hats, more Warriors stuff, and she knows all the players. And she lights a smudge, and she gets real close to the screen when the NBA is playing. She knows, and she doesn't like to put curses, but she does. She gets real close to that screen, and anybody that messes with number 30 Curry, she puts a little spell on them. And then they get arrested for womanizing and drunk driving. Hey! Anyway, but I'm in my mom's bedroom, and I was just saying, dang, my sister Wanda, like we have a wish list, and we have solstice presents. Shoot, we give presents. We believe Christmas is every damn day. 365 days a year we give presents. We give presents, not just one day out of the year, but we respect, because we love the topic of our ancestors walking on their prayers. And man, half our res, they love the Lord. My grandma loved the Lord, and she loved our Indian ways. She'd go to Okan. And so in that respect, I'll just, I'm a practicing speaker. I'm just going to say a little prayer, and, wherever you're at, say a prayer, and everybody that you see and think about today, give them goodness, a good prayer. So, Hail Stabatapi, Hail Ninna, Hayo napi natusi. Hayo akita piwa. No gaikimokit. No gus spumokit. Io strapatapi. Spumokana. Sixikai kainai. Butsa pikani and amskapi pikani. Io strapatapi. Spumokana. The Ixkanax social powwows at Sixikai that happened on the 26th. Everybody that was there who said prayers for all of Canada and all of the United States. Ishtapatapi Spumukana, the 8 headdress transfers at Kainai at their horns social powwow, and everyone that came into the multi-purpose building, give them a blessing. I'll Stapatapi, give all the elders that wished they could go a blessing. Bless their homes, bless their children's, give them good health. I'll Stapatapi, Spumukana, Batsapikani. Their horns, their January 1, they're going to have a social powwow at Brockett. Bless everyone that wants to come, that can come. By the way, you're invited. I'll Stapatapi, Spumukana, the 5th annual horned social powwow in Browning, Montana that just happened on the 26th. Bless all of the children, the polkas that came, that got gifts, that danced, that put on their outfits for the first time, that had little chicken dance outfits and little shawls, and Spumukana, LGBTQ, and Two-Spirit, those who cross-dressed and felt safe enough that everyone would just celebrate with them. Hayo Stapatapi, Spumukana Nanamska, Spumukana Terrence Laframboy and Dusty, who just had a baby boy, 6 pounds, 9 ounces, 19 inches long, named Namski Laframboy. Spumukana Namski. May you live 100 years of a well life and see into the future, and everything that our Blackfoot people can teach you that you carried on for 10 generations. Ios Debatapi, Spumukana Moto Geeks, Buffalo Women's Society. Special blessing to Sandra up there. Ishtapatapi, Spumukana Kami Boismanix, all those male and female and Two-Spirit that have a stand-up headdress. Give them a blessing. Give all of their relatives a blessing. Iostapatapi, Spumukana, Ganaxtimada, Brave Dog, and all Sixikai, Kainai, Abatsapikani, and Amskapi Pikani. Iostapatapi, Spumukana, the 250 First Nations and Métis across Canada. Iostapatapi, Spumukana, the 584 tribes in the lower 48 of the United States of America. Iostapatapi, Spumukana, all those who keep the condor sacred in the southern hemisphere, in the South Americas, in Peru, in Brazil, and Mexico, Bolivia, all of the places down in the south. Iostapatapi, Spumukana, the prophecies of when the condor and the eagle come together. We see it happening. Nina, we just ask special prayers for the babies being born and the elders that are crossing the Milky Way in the next 4 days, that they have a good journey and that their escorts, all of their ancestors that have passed on, escort them in beauty and in song, and that they're all dressed good. Especially any Cecilia Fire Thunder's relatives, that they have 4 beautiful outfits that they can exchange a new outfit as each day in the 4 days that they cross the Milky Way. Iostapatapi. We give special prayers to those who give reverence to you. Tinkashala, Akpadadia, Mahio, just all the ways that Buddha, Jesus, Jesus, Lord, all those, we give reverence to you during this time of the reclaiming after the solstice into the new year. sometimes. I'm gonna say a short prayer, and shoot, it goes on for hours. I woke up this morning, and I live about 30 miles over the mountain, but I spent the day with a pajama party with my sister Kathy and my sister Lori and my mom. And I always do what my mom says. I'm just a weirdo. I'm 66 years old. And mom said, it's getting dark. You should spend the night. So, okay, mom. So she has a big bed. So I slept over there. I slept with my mom. And um, we had a really beautiful day. And she's in there because today is my sister's birthday, Kathy. And Kathy is 65 years old. And Kathy wanted Spanish rice, so mom made Spanish rice. There's some beef tamales. She made a lemon cake, a real lemon cake with real lemon frosting, and squirted some lemon in the, my mom, my mom is just a badass baker. And then what does my sister want? She wants to go out to dinner at the casino and get the ribeye. We got a whole freezer of elk meat, buffalo meat. But what does she want? She wants some cow. She wants to go to the casino. She want to get... So, we're getting dressed up, and we're going to take her out for her birthday. So, let's see. I was praying that my heart, my insides would say words or give you stories that remind you that you're walking on your ancestors' prayers, and I was just thinking of that, because we NWI, we've been privileged last 12 years especially to go to Aotearoa, New Zealand. So Ria, Tempura, Keithern, Doreen. Anyway, those are our allies over there in Australia and Aotearoa, New Zealand. And so I think I'll start with a story of why we're walking on the prayers of our ancestors. And it has to do with that alliance with Aotearoa, New Zealand. NWI, we started being invited over, and now we're inviting them, and it's back and forth. And I think Ria now she's bringing a group over in February, but she wants to, it's interesting because, they're like us. We see pictures of them, they see pictures of us. And so she sees these pictures and she goes, I want to see the Northern Lights in Alaska. So anyway, we connected her with Shirley Holmberg, Nick Gonzalez, with Dr. X Owens in Anchorage, Wendy Siebel. We just connected her. All kinds of Faith Peters, everybody that's Alaskan Native. We connected them, and that's the cool thing about the internet. It was we connected, and we said, "Hey, kia ora." Kia ora. Our sister and her husband and her children, and they're dancers, they're warriors. They stick dance, and they make regalia, and they have they are Maori, eh? So they're gonna host them, and so I said, "Woo!" and help them out because they wear little skirts and flip flops. Watch, they'll get there, it'll be 50 below Fahrenheit, and the wind will be blowing, no. So I said, anyway, they're going to make sure that they get to a place where they can see the Northern Lights. And so the story, I'm, over the backbone of the world here, whenever, we just had one of our elders, Alfreda Bremner Racine, her body's being brought today. She went to boarding school with my mom. When they're crossing over, the Milky Way, Mokoyo Sokoi, that's my name, my second name. When they cross over, And that's, when they're crossing over, you might smell them. You might even see them. At the doings in Browning and the doings at Kainai, we saw people that had passed on, but they were sitting up in the bleachers, enjoying. Some people can see them and some don't. They're just staring at their phones. Damn! If you just stare at your phone, you can't see your dang ancestors. I never saw. Well, you can see pictures of them, but I don't know. Spirits don't. Well, they'll probably start coming. You'll just be watching your exes, all 4 of them that you're stalking, eh? And then you'll see a spirit behind them. So be careful if it's not a good one. Anyway, back to the story is New Zealand. Whew. That one of the visits, NWI went there. We went to the Healing the Spirit Worldwide, and that's going to happen in 2023. And you're invited. We invite all of you in Vancouver, British Columbia, September 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You can Google it. Healing Our Spirit Worldwide will be in Vancouver. So come on over. But we had met all these Maori, and they invited us, that Healing the Spirit Worldwide. We just came and they said, come up to our marae. And their marae is it's like a little res. It's just so good. You know how you have Res Dog series? You should have Marae series because it's the same stories. I swear it's the same stories. But when we went there, they said, no, we'll make room for you. You'll have a place to sleep and we'll feed you and we'll take you around so it will cost nothing. And we're just like, okay, you know how anyway, we're just not like Europeans. How much is it going to cost? It didn't cost nothing. It was just because we were good to them. We're good to them. That's an alliance. So we get there, and this has to do about walking on the prayers of your ancestors. This is what this is about. We get there, and it's at the top of the North Island, the very peak of the top of the North Island. And on the top, there's just this little bitty island out there, and there's a tree on it. And that is the doorway of when the Maori die, when their physical body, they never died, same as us, but their spirit goes over and goes back to Hawaii at that point. So when we got up there, NWI, I just remember we get there and they had just went out and they made us, well, I'd call it a bouillabaisse, and I'm not Maori, so I don't know the proper seafood stew. So we got there and they had this big old pot of scallops about this big, had crab, ooh, fish that we didn't even know the names of was in there. They just threw it in there, and it was so delicious. And Jolene, here's Jay. She just not, we're visiting. We're visiting, and Jolene just said, "Boy, I could eat this every day." So what do? They go out every day and they go get fresh clams, fresh lobster, fresh scallops. And they made that bouillabaisse, that seafood stew for us every day, just because Jolene had nonchalantly said, I could eat this every day. So they went out and they fished and they made us, as well as they have a buffet. It's like a buffet. They lay everything out. And, they don't believe in lines like, Indians see a line, Indians, they just go jump in it and they don't even know what it's for. It might be for cheese. It might be for a new coat. I don't know. Indians just jump in that line and anyway, the way that they do it over there, a lot of the Maoris, if they're going to have potato salad or some kind of, something like us, Indians, we always got to have potato salad, right? And we know who can make good potato salad, and we know who's, Remember, you got to make potato salad. It's courting. Like a man's gonna ask, make me some potato salad, and you that go to the store and have it pre-made, they're never gonna marry you. You gotta make the goddamn potato salad. Anyway, in the Maori, they make oh god, like abalone with shells with the abalone in it. So whatever the dish is, they put it around the room. So they make like 35 of these big dishes. So everyone comes in and gets a plate, and they say a prayer. Some will make a spirit plate, and then you just saunter around and fill your plate. There's never a line. So interesting concept, huh? I mean, like, even we got a per capita, and they finally got smart. They just mailed them all instead of making people wait in line at 50 below. Because Indians will wait in line. They don't even know what they're gonna get. It'll be 50 below, but they'll be shit talking about who's up there, who's cheesing, who's gonna try to get in front of them. I just love it. I just love Indians. NWI just loves Indians. Anyway, so that when we got to that marae, it was so large. It was one of the oldest ones, and all of the epitaphs or the pictures were back 50 generations. 50 generations that marae could go back. Who was the father, who was the mother, who was the grandmother. I mean, it was like, put that Bible to shame. Because if you talk to anybody there, they could say it verbally. They could say, yeah, and then the 48th generation was la la la. So one of the things that Native Wellness Institute, and we're starting off, we're going to do half virtual this year, and we're going to do half in person. And so our first virtual is going to happen in a couple of days here. Go to our site, www.nativewellness.com. And guess what? It's free, I think. I think it's that. Goddamn, we're making it free. That's how much we love you. We are making it free. And it's called The New Year. The New You. So, anyway, come join us. The New Year and the New You. Anyway, I don't know why I'm just so happy, but I'm going to enjoy it. And so we invite you, but at that marae, we learned so much about walking on the ancestors' prayers. Because when we slept in there, they gave us really nice foam. Some had sleeping bags. And I was trying to think, there was quite a few in our group. Maybe close to 15, between 15 and 20 of us. Because, we always, whenever NWI goes anywhere, we just adopt immediately. We had some, I remember Julie from White Earth. Julie Smith was there, and anyway, she was going, I got to go back home. We said, no, you got to come with us. We're going to go to the top island, and we're going to pray at dawn. We're going to sing, and you got to come and sing. So anyway, we just adopted her and pulled her. We had a whole bunch of it. Oh, it was just so... I remember Shailene Joseph, and if you don't know Shailene Joseph, she adopts a lot of people. So we had all her adoptees. We brought them. Anyway, we went to the marae, and we're all sleeping there. So there's, I don't know, I'd say 30 to 35 of us sleeping in the marae, just cozy as heck, just cozy, and sleeping collectively. So it's time to be disciplined. And, when you sleep collectively, you have discipline about making love, eh? And so there was no kids with us. No kids. I mean, there was some adults that act like kids, eh? But there was no children. But we were all sleeping there. Badass Hunty thinks of these things because one of the things with healthy sexuality and it's about maturity, is you have to be disciplined. And discipline means for women, discipline, no manizing, no public manizing. And for LGBTQ, two spirit, we got some healing to do, okay? I know you all want to just be grinder.com out there, just grinding everywhere you go. But sometimes you have to have discipline and not hurt people. But if it's consenting adults, go ahead, do it. Go ahead, do it. But all you men on the down low, you think you're on the down low? Badass auntie sees you. It's cool. We all got it. We got healing to do. Anyway, this Mariah and this walking on our ancestors' prayers, they wanted to accommodate us because we were Americans, but we knew some of the protocol. And I remember, so then we asked them, would it be good? Would it be okay if you invited us to greet before the sun comes up? We don't know how you guys like to do it, but would really like to go to that place where the spirits cross over. So this is like at the top of the island out there with the little tree. So anyway, we were their guests and they said, okay, they got one of the papas there. And he said, okay, the papa's going to come get you. And like when the papa in New Zealand, and we had already, met Hector, who navigates by the stars and pulls to Easter Island and pulls. We already met him, but they said we were going to meet one of the papas and he was going to come get us. And we better be ready because he's going to take us to the point of the island and we're all going to sing to the water and we're going to sing. And that's so, whew, we're all in the Mariah, everybody's in their pajamas and just snoring away. 2:45 a.m. Papa shows up and said, all right, we're leaving in 10 minutes. And, so we just woke up. We didn't even comb our hair. I think some people grabbed a toothbrush. Everybody went to the bathroom and we jumped in the vans with Papa. We jumped in the vans and so we get in the van. And I just remember I got to sit up front with Papa and he was driving. And so then I look back and all the NWI teams. So I said, just let him sleep till we get there. So we drove up to the top of the island and I sat there and proper protocol is I introduced myself, my parents and my grandparents, and on my dad's side, we can go back like 4 or 5 generations. And then I introduced on my mom's side to my grandma and her 13 siblings and went up to like Glittering in Front, Tom T. So I went, that's about as far as I could go in my memory. And we can go higher, but then I just said, so do you have any questions? I said, I can't answer for all the tribes in here. We represent about, 50 tribes in this van alone. So this is his first question was, I want to hear what your men are doing. And I was like, ooh, I want to know what your men are doing. And I haven't been a man, I know I got 5 or 6 different genders in me, but he said, we want to know what your men are doing to keep your culture and to protect your sacred women. So anyway, that was, we talked for, it was about an hour and a half. And so I started sharing with him over the years, since the 50s, when I like Francis Allen, Bill Wapipaw. And then, Mom, last night, we always talk about our dreams. My mom was dreaming about Bill Wapipaw last night. She was, when they started the Running Is My High around Lake Merritt, Bill Wapipaw and all of the Millie Cacciano. My mom had a dream about them last night. So that was Bill Wapipaw was one of the men that I grew up with, very young, who had the American Indian Movement House, the AIM House in Oakland, California. And he would take kids, like if their parents were just alcoholic or not doing good, and they were going to throw those kids in the system. He would, so sometimes he'd have like 40 kids, all different little teenagers, plus his kids, and he'd have them in the AIM house, and they would all collectively, of course, and there wasn't no funding, so I just remember we're always getting food for the AIM house, so we'd always get stuff so I could make spaghetti, so I could make meatloaf, so, but the AIM house was, I remember everybody, every little kid, and I'm not a singer, but the hey ha, hey ya, way ha ya. Everybody knew the AIM song. So the whole goddamn Bay Area, man, 150,000 Indians knew the AIM song. And I'm not even, anyway, I'm not even Lakota, Nakota, or Dakota, or I'm not Navajo, or I'm not Pueblo. Needs to Sixacatepee, Blackfoot Confederacy, but we were all singing the AIM song, and that came from the men, and I think I shared that story with Papa, because he showed me the first men that stood up for the culture, the first men, and then later on the men just along that history line, and it was in the late 60s, like 1969. And I was just a teenager, but I remember there was some from South Dakota who put a Sundance on at DQ University. So I saw men, and the good thing, and this is like early, but they said there was a big old sign out front that said no cameras and no alcohol. So we had these, so I was trying to tell him our first men that stood up, even, Dennis Banks, he 1970 started Sundancing. He quit drinking. Some of those others, and it's not, nothing against them, but if you're still drinking, and this is this badass auntie, if you're still drinking, frickin' quit. Get your Indian on and quit, because you are showing us nothing that's going to help our people. And I'm saying it sternly. You social drinkers, piss ass mofos, you ain't helping our people. You're killing our people. So anyway, back to, just took away my joy for a minute. Those social drinkers get me. Anyway, I'm gonna pray for you. I still love you, but your Budweiser is killing us. Anyway, so he said, "What else are your men doing?" And so would go along, and then I'd look back, and because I would definitely like Will Penn, to say something, but Will was. So I said, "Well, that one back there, he's a veteran. Our men are veterans. They're warriors." So that one back there, he don't drink or use. He raises his kids. He raises other kids. He was a medic. And I said, even he survived leukemia. And that was back, I was telling, that was back then. And then he got it again, and he survived that because he had faith. So I said, all our Indian men, the ones that have faith, the ones that believe in Creator, the ones that surrender, and the ones that pick up the values, that's what some of our Native men are doing. That's what the Native Dads Network is doing. That's what Al Pooley and his group with Native families, sacred fatherhood and sacred motherhood, that's what the Native men are doing. That's what White Bison with Qatari and all of her team. The men are maintaining their sobriety and going through forgivenesses with the mothers of their children, all the mothers. And it's okay because, shoot, I got some uncles around here, got 40 kids by 20 women, eh? Then I got some uncles who got 30 kids by 30 different women. And guess what? They go out, and you can tell when they walk in the room, because they're all duded up. They're duded up like that, but they don't always look like that. They're all duded up, and everybody goes, no, the uncles are here. And anyway, Badass Auntie knows this because they walk way around Badass Auntie, because Badass Auntie's going to call them on their stuff. Anyway, so he said, what else are your men doing? And I just remember crying. And he let me cry. I said, some of our men aren't doing good. And they're not doing good. And the women are trying to fix and save them. And it's not a good scenario because they're just the pattern. They're showing the patterns to the children that they made, and then the children just repeat the pattern and repeat the pattern and repeat the pattern. And I said, but it would be good if some of your men and some of our men could get together and they could heal. And I said, in NWI, we think that men need to heal with men, just like LGBTQ and Two-Spirit need to heal with each other. And women need to heal with each other. And then we bring them together for forgiveness ceremonies. So, but I said, so then, we kept talking, but he said, the reason he's asking about the men, he said, because these men got to lead the way. These men are the warriors. They got to protect. They got to nurture. They got to humble themselves. And they got to be humorous, and they got to be disciplined. He kept saying disciplined. And he said, because over here, we have the same problem. We have struggles. And he said, you can see it sometimes in our leadership and blah, blah, blah. Same stuff. So that I wanted to share that with you. So right now that we can begin to travel again, and that's why Native Wellness Institute will invite you to the Healing and Spirit Worldwide. We believe as many as 30 countries of indigenous will be there. And they'll all be talking about how they heal their spirit. And so that's when we're walking on the prayers of our ancestors, just remember, and this is remember what your ancestors did. So your ancestors, it's always over there. In Australia, it's interesting because they have the way that they say, "What's your token?" But it's like, "What's your spirit animal? Your name?" And so sometimes, like in their area, it's always with the animals. And remember, they're 6 billion years old. The rainforest there. They have spirits of, not only kangaroo, we know kangaroo, but they have spirits of special animals, of special, I was just thinking as I'm looking out, when we were there, we were going into the rainforest, and our guide was teaching us how you survive in the rainforest. And one of the things you survive on, because it's pure protein, is this little bitty ant. And this little bitty ant's about this big, and it has a green butt. And it's all protein. And whatever's in there, even if you had nothing else, it's enough liquid to keep you alive. And so anyway, the challenge, this is like NWI, because I remember we were going, and man, this one snake was across there, and everybody was screaming. Anyway, and still I wasn't screaming because we're used to like things you gotta like check it out what you can do, and we got it off the road. But these green butt ants. He said, "Well, who wants to volunteer?" And and he picked one. Just ate it. Picked another. Just ate it. He goes, "Okay, who wants to volunteer to eat a green butt ant?" So here's here's NW. Me. Everybody's like raising their hand. Here's Will, Jeline, Robert Johnston, Shailene, Gene. We just all went over there and we're eating the green butt ants, but that's the walking on the teachings, walking on the prayers. And I remember just thinking to myself, so here's another, of our ancestors, that everything you eat has a spirit. And everything you eat, that's why you give thanks. That's why you put down the tobacco when you hunt. That's why you put down the tobacco when you get your salmon. That's why you put down the tobacco when you get your green butt ant, because we all had our medicines and we were thanking for the green butt ant, and we ate it. But the spirit, and this is just the walking on the prayers. If you eat what your ancestors used to eat, that's why Thosh and Chelsea, they're just too cool. Thosh, I just love him. I love Chelsea, but your ancestral food. And so when you're eating the spirit, so even when we were eating that ant, say Nogyakimok, Nogaspomok, it means have pity on us, help us. The spirit of the animal, I think, I said it'll protect us. Nothing's gonna hurt us, even though there's 80 poisonous snakes where we're going. Anyway, you got the spirit, but so think about that. Like right now, we harvest, we got a herd of buffalo, and now there's 75 tribes in the lower 48 with big herds of buffalo. When the spirit of that animal, just when we harvest, I remember just eating some of the raw kidney. You just need a piece, and then that spirit of that animal fortifies you. I think that's why I'm not diabetic, why I don't have any health problems, and I'll soon be 67, is because like now, I'm gonna eat some spirit food that my mother prepared for my sister's birthday. And we just got a couple elk harvested. So now that it's kind of warming up, and in Montana we have our freezers inside, and usually about now till February we just keep coolers outside. Or mom used to keep them in the trunk of old cars. Those are our freezers outside. You just go out there, get some of your meat that you're gonna cook up. But the spirit of that animal, our family is we eat a lot of, I guess, wild meat, mule deer. We did eat some antelope, a lot of buffalo, a lot of elk. And when you let's just say last during this pandemic, we ate a lot more elk in winter, just eating elk. And it's like walking on the prayers of your ancestors, because man, when they could eat elk, it just I was just up to the Horn Society powwow at Kainai, and I had brought a buffalo tongue from a very large buffalo that was gifted by our friends in Bab. And so I brought it up, and I asked certain ones, and they said, give it to that Bruce Wolfchild. And that was kind of, I guess I'm sharing this because that was like, how some people have goals and objectives. I just wanted to take that tongue up there and give it to one of the elders who would use it to help pray for our tribe and our family. myself and my family, we got some challenges. And so I swear, when I took the spirit of that buffalo tongue up there, because that's, walking on the prayers, somehow, some way, from the time I was a child, I knew buffalo tongue had significance and it had medicine, and that it was powerful medicine. So that spirit, so I know that is done, and so now I feel good, because, even, I don't want to die tomorrow, but if I died tomorrow, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I gave it to the elder. The prayers will be made, and we'll be walking on those prayers till we see that first blade of green grass. And that's why the equinox and the solstice is so important. And so, walking on these prayers, I just wanted to share, and I've shared this before, is when we went on that trip to New Zealand, there was, when we were at, we were looking for, and my pronunciation, the kori trees, and they were the trees, and they're like giant redwoods, and they grow up so tall that they could reach above the clouds on the islands of New Zealand. And these kori trees, but we had come across stories that the way that they became that way, and that's why they call it the large white cloud over that island, is that when the whales came, they couldn't see the island because of that white cloud, so sometimes they'd get beached and they'd die. So some of the whales sacrificed themselves, and they shape-shifted, and when they came up on the land, they became these giant kori trees. And these kori trees could reach up above the clouds, so that when the whales were swimming towards the island, they could see that there was an island there, and they saved all the whales. So that was when we were there. We those trees were so big. NWI, it took us maybe I would say more than 10 maybe eight of us to put our arms together to put around the tree, and we said prayers. So remember, and when you say prayers like that with something so sacred, because almost all of them were cut down except in the sanctuaries, is those prayers are powerful. And we said prayers for the water, we said prayers for the air, and we said prayers for the earth. And that's where you have the faith just to trust that. It's just like, today, like, it's, it's really good to everyone's taking a break. And a well-deserved break. Sleeping in, a well-deserved break. Eating good. And it's okay, just eat your mom's lemon cake. Eat your pumpkin pie. Just exercise a little bit more. So that story, gosh, so the other thing that I was thinking about and walking on those prayers, and it had to do with that baby Namski Laframboy being born this morning. I cried because I know his great grandparents, Mary Ellen Laframboy, Conrad, the grandpa, and then above that, I was just thinking, wow, they must have had good prayers for this little Namski Laframboy. And Namski, like a little baby Nanamska, one of our societies. And I just thought, this baby's being born in a time to clean and sober parents. His mother's a nurse. His father's a instructor of the culture. And he's a coach for all the sports activities. And he's a teacher. And he's got an older brother. this older brother, man, I seen him this last July. We had we call it Youth Day. 1,700 youth all together enjoying themselves. Debbie Whitegrass and that team just works so good. But anyway, they said, okay, we're going to have a prayer. And the older brother, Brayson, got up. And, and he's just running around with his friends. And all of a sudden, he takes off his hat. Hi-oh, step-at-to-be. Hi-oh, ninna. He prayed in good Blackfoot for a long time, a few minutes. And then, and I go, Mom, check him out. He's walking on the prayers of his ancestors. Mom. And Mom was just a little tear. She goes, I know, Nellie. She calls me Nellie. I know. And then when he's done, he put his hat back on, and his best friend was standing right there to support him. They just ran off, started playing again. So and now that's his baby brother. So this morning, Mom said, well, his older brother is going to take care of him. And so that, I think that one of the things is your siblings are so important. You can never divorce your siblings or your cousins either, even if you got your wayward cousins. So then be good to each other. When our father was dying, his last words is, he said, I want you kids to be good to each other. So sometimes when I'm having a little spat or not thinking, because, it's like you can't, the only people that can push your buttons is those that know you well and that you really love. So when they push your buttons, when you feel like strangling them, just remember that feeling was once love, a pure, unconditional love. And just go back to that pure, unconditional love. And when you can do that, you're disciplined, you're mature, and you keep the love in front. And let that other stuff just roll over your shoulders and let it go. Let it go. They might be having a bad day. You don't know. Their blood sugar might be going up and down. You don't know. They're, they might have just, they might have just got cut off their Wi-Fi. That's the Indians. What? There's no Wi-Fi? Where's the Wi-Fi? How do you get on? What's the password code? Or you see them get all pissed off. What's my password? I got 50 passwords and they want me to change my password? I don't remember my password. I just love our world. It's just so glamorous and so beautiful. So this is Wellness Wednesday, Native Wellness Institute, Nistu Makoyo Sekoyi, and yes, I did play Badass Auntie on Reservation Dogs, and who knows, and I was just thinking that my goal is not to be a movie star, but my goal is, and this is my first outing, I think I'm with Don Burnstick somewhere, I'm going to raffle off some crystal dildos, and some medicine, because I want to start the dialogue and bring to the platform healthy sexuality. Because Native Wellness Institute, it's one of our core issues to talk about healthy sexuality and healing and in sobriety and in recovery. And so I was just, this morning, this is how Badass Auntie thinks. I think I'll just bring flavored lubricants, water soluble. First, I'll have to give Don Burnstick a whole supply. No, that brother needs a supply. I know. Anyway, I just love Don, but we're Native Wellness Institute, our mission has always been and will always be to keep the teachings of our ancestors alive. So I hope that in this last power hour that I've shared with you and have done some of that. And then we just also, we need some feedback. Just you could text us, go to the site, even on here, just say that you love the power hour, or you could say, shut up, Theda, we're tired of listening to you. You know what? You won't hurt my feelings, but next time I see you, what you'd like to see on Wellness Wednesday, what you'd like to talk about, what you'd like to hear. And because I was just telling the group, I want to do a series on sex addiction and healing. So if that's something, give me some hearts, give me some pluses, or if you just want to stay in the closet and not talk about healthy sexuality, just do it in the dark, eh? Not get no orgasm, eh? Not even have fun and joy and thrive in your lovemaking. I just that's just me. I believe it's our birthright to thrive and have joy. It is our birthright to thrive and have joy. So with that, I'm gonna sign off, and I'm gonna go eat some of my mom's Spanish rice and beef tamales. So kitaki tomatsuno. I love you, and I'll see you soon.